bring to you one and all, the one, the only, the guy we all love to hate, also known as Kyle, to our live tonight, to this Ruthless crossover conversation. Hello, Mr. Benedict. How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of our Ruthless Conversation this evening.
Absolutely. I was stoked for it. So thank you for reaching out, and thanks for being a fan of the show.
Yes, absolutely. No doubt. Like I tell everyone, without the Oval, there would be no Ruthless. So how can you not love the Oval?
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, Ruthless is a great show too, and I loved when I heard about that show, that it was going to be a thing, and realized that there was crossover opportunity. I just thought that was the coolest thing. So we've seen a little bit of that. Kyle hasn't made his world over to the Ticah-Dishawn yet, but I'm hopeful that's going to happen. I feel like he would fit in well there. So we'll see.
Yeah, Kyle would definitely fit in well over in the Ticah-Dishawn compound.
Yeah, I don't know.
They can drop him off just for a few weeks and just help change his mindset, because Kyle's about to change.
That's right. Yeah, I mean they'll teach me a few things. I could teach them a few things, and there we go. Powerhouse team right there.
Absolutely. So we're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Who is Brad Benedict?
Ooh, well, like any human, like any character, that's a complicated question. But I grew up in Georgia, in Norcross, Georgia. Spent my whole life there until I ended up going to the University of Georgia. Tennis was a huge part of my life growing up. I played college tennis at Georgia, and my team won an NCAA championship in 2007. I studied finance. I thought I was going to Wall Street. I had a big investment banking job coming out of college. Yet ended up in Los Angeles just to, I thought I was just going to play around for 6 months and then go have that normal corporate job, and that didn't happen. That was back in 2008, and here I am 13 years later. The youngest of four. I have three older siblings. Mom and dad are still in Georgia with the rest of my siblings. Brother Charles, older sister Jennifer, another sister Lindsay. I'm an uncle of four, which is one of the coolest things that I've had to, gotten to experience to date in my life. And I have a beautiful girlfriend who's out here in LA with me. She's a musician, so we're actually going to go play a big charity benefit show, or maybe not charity, but a benefit show this weekend in Texas. So kind of all over the place. I love animals. I love music. I love acting. Adventure, get me traveling, and I'm a happy guy. So yeah, there's a lot to Brad Benedict, I'd say.
Absolutely, many layers to Brad Benedict. And I wanted to just piggyback on something that somebody reminded me in the comment. We the Ruthless fans, we tell everybody happy birthday as long as we find out it's their birthday. So a happy birthday again, happy birthday weekend, happy birthday month to you.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy your birthday weekend?
Yeah, I was that guy this year. The week leading up, I was feeling the blues a little bit. Like I didn't want another year to come, but then I looked back on my past year, and it was one of the most phenomenal of my life personally. A crazy year for the world, no doubt, but a really cool year for me. I did my biggest movie ever with Tyler, Jazzman's Blues, shot another season of The Oval. I spent 2 months living on a boat doing Shark Week in the Bahamas right there.
Yes.
Got to travel to Europe and swim with, or not to Europe, to Mexico and swim with whale sharks. So it's been a great year. And so this past weekend I went out to Joshua Tree, the desert out here in about 2.5 hours from Los Angeles, and just got a little Airbnb. Didn't do much. It was actually fun. This was a kind of a unique new experience. But on Saturday night, this past Saturday, I went out into the middle of the desert at night and did a sound bath. So it's a meditation, and they're playing the crystal bowls, and you stand in a bowl and they gong it, and you're feeling all these reverberations through your body. So, something that maybe not everybody's open to, but for me, it was a really, really cool, amazing experience. And, just kind of every year I grow older, I hope to stay open to new things and stay curious. And so that was one of them that I got to kind of play around with this weekend on my birthday weekend.
Absolutely. And You are extremely adventurous. You're one of the most adventurous people I have ever seen. And you know what I'm referring to, Shark Week, Shark Academy. That was everything. Now I'm gonna just say this, I'm gonna be honest and don't take it as racist. You know, Black people don't really fool with the water and we don't deal with sharks like that. So I said, let me open my mind. Let me just actually watch this, because through watching that show, I can kind of get to know a little bit more about Brad Benedict as opposed to just seeing him as hot. Now, how did you get the courage to even do that? Like, do you swim with sharks that have the potential to take your life?
Oh yeah.
Where did that courage come from?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the funny thing is, after swimming with sharks face to face, I think I was more nervous after the fact when I got home and I started thinking about what I had actually done, and it's just like, it's almost fake when you're down there. So yeah, I was in the middle of the ocean out in the Bahamas, sitting on the bottom with a 15-foot tiger shark about this far from my face, no cage. And so, yeah, it wasn't until I got done with the experience where I was like, wow, I probably should have been afraid. But I don't know, ever since I was a kid, I've loved nature. I've been catching sharks off the beach in South Carolina since I was a kid. So I kind of knew that I had already been in the water with them. The water in South Carolina is not clear, so you're not going to be able to see them the way you would in the Bahamas.
Right.
But it was just, I think the fascination of being, just diving in general, being in this whole new world, it's like an outer space on Earth. And just the excitement kind of blinded me to the fear that I probably should have had. However, what I will say, and something that I really learned through that experience on Shark Academy, was if you do the right things, it doesn't have to be that dangerous or scary. You know, first things first, look them in the eye. So when you're down there, you got a mask. If you keep eye contact with a shark, and most big predators, they're going to kind of keep their ground. They'll stay, you know, they have their ring of like safety around you. But you turn your head and you're not paying attention, they'll come in. They're not coming in like crazy wanting to attack, but then they get curious, and so they start to come a little bit closer and closer. But yeah, for anybody who has seen the show or who hasn't, it was one of the hardest 2 months of my life. Not because of necessarily the fear of diving with sharks, but just for having a camera in your face 24/7 and a microphone around your neck and doing a reality show stuck on a boat. Like, there's something different than being at Tyler Perry Studios. We shoot, and then, you know, you go home and you're done with work and you get to decompress and come back the next day. But on this boat, we literally spent 2 months and I was theirs to, you know, to direct as they please that entire time. And that was really hard. I didn't have very good ability to get in touch with family or friends, and just being far away and not having the people that you love to be able to just call up and get that strength from. You realize how much you rely on your life. And it was really exciting.
I figured that the distance, as far as you being away from family, friends, people that you know, you love, whatever, I figured that would make things a little bit more complicated. And I realized on one of the episodes that you were getting agitated when I know it happens to all of us, but it's okay, because she could, you know, speaking of everybody, there was a moment where Brad was tasked to make the breakfast for everyone, and there was one young lady, one of his cast or shipmates, that chose not to have breakfast after Brad had made her this lovely breakfast. And so he kindly let her know, you know, you could at least let me know that you weren't going to eat, but he didn't feel like that. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure she understood what he meant after that. So yeah. I understand it. Like, don't have me cooking your food and then you're not going to eat it. Like, I made you a piece, you know. And it's just like the toast and the bacon, like a full service breakfast.
Yeah.
So I understand I thought that was like, okay, it's getting a little bit to him, but I can kind of understand the nature of it. So when I tell you all of this, we watched every single episode. I really watched every single episode. And everybody that's out there, make sure you go back and watch Shark Academy.
Yes, Shark Academy
Right.
on Discovery Plus. So
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's worth subscribing to that channel also, you guys. It's worth subscribing. I'm telling you, I only got the channel because of the show.
Wow, I really appreciate that, and I you know what's funny is I feel like more friends and family watched me do this silly reality show than have watched me on my acting jobs, but yeah, it's tough, you know, like that's the thing when they get so much material, first of all, and they kept saying, be real, just be yourself, and it's like, that's so hard to do. You think you're being yourself, but at the same time, I'm aware I have a lot to lose. I spent 8 to 12 years getting to a point in my acting career where I've made it to my dream. I'm living my dream. And then you go on this reality show, and for me, it was about the sharks. I just wanted to learn about sharks. I wanted to dive with the sharks. I don't want to be in the nature. But the reality is you're dealing with 7 other people in small quarters, and so eventually your sass is going to come out. Yeah, I had been tasked with making breakfast that morning and spent time, and meanwhile, you know, we're getting our material or our stuff ready to go diving, and you're rushed here and rushed there, and so when they were not appreciative of my breakfast cooking skills, I gave a little lip. But I think my worst, if you guys watch the show, wait till the island episode. That's when I really gave a little peace of mind. But hey, I apologized after, and we all got along really well, and it was just a little slice of real life, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. That's life. It happens. We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit to your vocal talent, which I found to be very, very beautiful.
Thank you.
Very beautiful. I didn't grow up on country music, but listening to your voice, listening to the music that that's coming out, it made me like, oh, nah, wow, like, he really can sing. Like, so how did you start, singing? Where'd that come from?
Yeah, I'll say, I think if I had any dream job, I'd probably be on stage, being I'd probably be in a band. But it's still my biggest fear, my biggest insecurity. And so every once in a while here, I've put up a little something trying to get over my fear. But I think that probably comes from my sister, my sister who's a year and a half older, who loves me to death, and I love her to death. But when I was a kid, every time I would play my guitar and try to sing, she'd be like, oh, God, you know what? I don't want to hear that, right? We're kids. And then you kind of create these crazy, like, complexes about it. But no, I think I got my first guitar. I was about 11 years old, and it just started from there. But I think it was probably in college when I just got more into teaching myself, and then came out here, and well, I guess high school rather. My junior year, I did my first acting job was also a musical. So I had to sing 4 solos in that musical, Bye Bye Birdie. And oh my gosh, I remember the first show when it was like, it's a couple scenes in, and then all of a sudden you become aware, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to sing in front of 350 high school friends, and I've never done it before, and I don't feel like a singer. And that was, that broke the ice, and it's just been a hobby that I've slowly built. I wrote in 2010, when I guess it started in 2008, really, when I first moved out to Los Angeles and started my acting pursuit. I didn't have a lot of work, so I spent 1 year in the studio with a buddy of mine. It was a home studio, and I recorded like 12 songs, and it was just for fun. And I made a song. My mom turned 60, and I remember staying in the studio till like 4 a.m. writing her a song called My Mama Taught Me How to Love for her 60th birthday. And I overnighted it to her the next day, and my big brother played it while I was on like video conference for my mom for her birthday. And it was like this fun thing. And yeah, it's just kind of grown from there. I have a music project that I've been developing for a long time. I'd love to tell the hook, but I think it's too good of an idea, so I'm afraid it'll get stolen. But yeah, working on a movie project that would kind of be my introduction to the world with my writing and some of that. And actually this weekend I am going to Texas for the third year. There's a theater called the Electric Grand Theater in Electra, Texas. And some of you guys watching might know Robert Craighead, who is on Ruthless. And he was on my first ever Tyler Perry show, Too Close to Home.
Yep.
So we play this show in Texas, and all the money goes to help restore this theater. 2020 was the 100-year anniversary of the theater, and so I just play a little small part, but go and I'll open up for Paul Overstreet. My girlfriend and I will open up for Paul Overstreet and Scotty Emmerich, and they both have #1 hits with people like Toby Keith, Kenny Chesney, Randy Travis. So these some really, really awesome big names in the country music scene. And so, yeah, that's just still something I'm building. Actually, Robert Craighead is the one who pushed me to start playing my first gigs out here in California. He wrote a movie called Catch a Falling Star, which I'm attached to, and we're working on getting that made. And he told me, he said, if you're going to play this character who is a singer and a songwriter, he said, you're going to have to get out and actually play bar gigs and become the role. And that's what forced me to get over my fears of playing in front of people. And that was back in 2017. And I actually met Ashley, my girlfriend, that way. She's an identical twin. She and her twin were singing the same night. They ended up singing harmonies with me, and the rest is history. So,
oh, that's nice right there. So in Jazzman's Blue, do you do anything in that, or can you talk about it? Because I know it hasn't come out yet. Do you do anything in that?
Yeah. So, hey, I'm officially Brittany. I'm just joining from Dallas, Texas. You should come out to Electra this next weekend. I'll be there to play a show. That's only about 2.5 hours from Texas. No, so I think that's okay to say. Yeah, Jazzman's Blues. Really, really proud of this film. It's going to be coming to Netflix next year, and that was another Tyler Perry film, but it's the best thing I've ever read of Tyler's. It's I love to be on the Oval and his shows, and you know, those are more fun soap, you know, evening over the top fun shows. And Jazzman's Blues is a little bit different, and he's been trying to make it for 25 years, and so I'm just honored to be a part of it. A lot of the cast members were coming off Broadway doing Hamilton and all these really great things, so I really did feel honored to be a part of it. So I play a sheriff in the 1940s in Jazzman's Blues. The movie takes place in the 40s and in the 80s, and yeah, I don't know how much I can say, but I'm a sheriff in that, and this character shares a few things with all my Tyler Perry characters. I think, you know, he's got a thing or two in common with Kyle and JB from Too Close to Home, and even Johnny from If Loving You's Wrong. If any of you guys watched If Loving You Is Wrong, I had a little arc in that show as well. But yeah, there is a music kind of heartbeat to a Jazzman's Blues. The jazz aspect is a big part of it, and I just love that, because sometimes you see these movies where the setting or the music or whatever becomes a character in the movie, and I believe that's going to be the case with Jazzman, and not only the setting but also the music aspect, and it just I think people are going to fall into this story and really fall in love with it. So can't wait for that one. I'm eager for them to come up, you know, tell us the date when it's coming out. So I'm sort of in the dark with that as well, but I think it's going to be a big release, and everybody's going to see it next year. I think they're really expecting big things for that movie.
Absolutely. People have been speaking on it for the longest, so it's definitely anticipated, and we will definitely be watching, and I will try my best not to hold your character in this movie against you.
Yeah.
Because I'm learning now that Brad Benedict and all of these characters are totally different, because when I saw you on Too Close to Home, my like, you trying to kill the old man, and like, what was Brad? How did you even how did you even connect with Tyler Perry in able to do that? Like, Too Close to Home, first of all, I'm gonna just say this: it was ended way too soon. I kind of see the similarity in the Oval stressful and too close to home with the whole president scene and situation and all that. But I think it was just ended way too soon. I wish they would just come back and give you guys, even if it's just one more season, just to end it correctly. You know what I mean? Just to end it with some, oh wow, so did JB really do this, or did this finally happen? You know, so how did you come in touch with Mr. Tyler Perry?
Yeah, so I agree that show ended way too soon, and I was pretty heartbroken when it did. And it was unique for Tyler to have a show. We only did 16 episodes, and I think that I'm pretty sure that was just the network we were on. He was trying for the first time. He was working with TLC, and they had never done scripted television before, and our ratings were great from what I remember seeing. And so a lot of people were watching the show, and so I imagine there was just kind of something behind the scenes that wasn't working out. I don't really know, but I still have a lot of people. Yeah, hey Donna. Donna said exactly, been wanting that so bad. Donna's been a supporter of mine since Too Close to Home, so thank you. I thought it would be cool if we made a movie, so it might be tough to go get another season of the show, but what if we did a 2-hour special and we wrapped everything up and, you know, got Brock O'Hearn back and got Danielle back off her primetime show, and so who knows, you know, something like that could happen someday. I might have to whisper in the boss's ear when we go back and shoot our next season.
Please do.
But
he has BET now. He has some Ruthless stuff on BET Plus, so anything's possible. He can definitely. I think that
would be a brilliant way to do it, because BET Plus is basically Tyler Perry land, and I know that they need more and more content as they're building their new platform. So that would actually be, you know what? I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do some sneaky stuff. I'm gonna go like write a treatment for a movie and just be like, here you go, boss. The people want it. We could shoot it in like a weekend. Let's do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yeah, so I met Tyler on that show. It was 2016, and I had been at this whole acting gig for 8 years, and I had several guest stars, and I had worked a good bit, but I had never been a regular on any TV shows or, you know, done any big movies. And an audition came through. It was through my Atlanta agents, and I never really, so it was a self-tape, and I usually, you would go into a casting office, you'd audition out here in Los Angeles, and it's just way more one-on-one, and you know that the casting directors are seeing your audition. And when the self-tape became a thing, which is the only way that we audition now, pretty much, you just start to wonder, like, is anybody even watching this? Like, gosh, am I wasting my time? I've done 100 of these things, and I haven't heard a thing. And so I was rehearsing for my class, actually, with some of my best friends, and was just beat and tired, and I wasn't even going to audition for Too Close to Home, because it was for a rugged trucker. They described JB as a rugged trucker, you know, hard ass or whatever. And I'm just like, oh, that's not me. I'm just a normal dude next door or whatever. But I connected with the dialogue and the material when I read it, and so I ended up taping it, and that was on a Thursday, and just kind of forgot about it. And the next Monday, I think, you know, 4 or 5 days later, I got a call from my reps that told me that I was flying to Atlanta the next day for essentially chemistry reads, and I think he brought probably between 40 and 60 people to Atlanta for all the different roles. And you go on stage at his studio in this conference room, and you kind of just start mixing and matching with other characters that had come, doing these scenes, and he tries to find the best cast, the most chemistry, and that was where it all started. I was so nervous my first time that day. I went up on stage and was doing my first audition of the day, or my first scene, and he stopped me within like 4 lines, and I was just like, oh god, because I was supposed to be choking Shelby. I was supposed to be choking somebody out in the scene, so I was like choking my pages, and he was like, no. I'm like, oh no, I ruined it, it's over, that was my shot. And he sent me out and had me come back in, and yeah, by the end of the day, I called my people, and I was like, I have a feeling this is it. and got on the plane that night. And by the time I had landed back in Los Angeles, I had an official offer for Too Close to Home, and we just developed a really good rapport. Tyler, from day one, kind of with me, has encouraged me to stay free. I guess he tells me one of his favorite things about me as an actor is my freedom on set. So I do some weird stuff in character, and I know that, but I think that that's what he wants. I think that he wants to write, and then he wants us, this ensemble cast, to come and really color it in, and not just try to execute necessarily exactly what even he had in his mind. I think he appreciates when we kind of bring a little bit of our own idea to what's on the page. So yeah, I did Too Close to Home, and then I had a really slow period. I thought I had missed my shot. I actually got a financial planning job, thinking, okay, the acting, like, I blew it, or that show was it, and it ended. And then I don't know, it was about a year and a half or so after, and I just got a random call from his office, and he offered me If Loving You's Wrong, and that was just a direct offer, and that kind of turned things around for my whole career. And that was at, I think, late 2018, and then in 2019 everything just kind of went crazy. I did a couple movies at the beginning of the year, and then again for the Oval, I was at the gym reading. I like to go to the gym and at the juice bar, and I read before I work out, and I got a text from a number I didn't recognize at the time, and it was Tyler, and he said, hey, I'm writing this new White House drama, and there's this Secret Service agent. He's he's sadistic, sexy, and maybe a little bit of a sociopath. I think you'd be great. And I was like, sign me the heck up, let's do this. And it's just been a really cool ride ever since. So I'm ready to keep going. And then that was the third job, the Oval, and then when we were shooting season 3 of the Oval this March in Atlanta, I did a scene, and he pulled me aside and asked if I had time to read a script, and I didn't know what it was at the time, and that was A Jazzman's Blues. And so as soon as we finished season 3, he saw something during one of my scenes that he connected to. So I auditioned, I put myself on tape, and before I was even, I think right when I landed back in LA from shooting that, I found out 2 weeks later I was going to go back and start Jazzman, and it's just been, a really, really, really awesome ride. I'm grateful for it. I think number one, you just got to be prepared, have a good attitude, and show up and be able to do your job. And that's number one. So it's easy sometimes to, like, I've watched casts in the past, like, season 1's cool, season 2, everybody's starting to get a little, they're starting to get into themselves a little bit. Season 3, people are asking for a little too much. Season 4, boom, you're canceled because you all became prima donnas. And, like, we're not going to let that happen. We all just are grateful, and that goes a long way, because Tyler Perry works really hard, not just for himself. Like, he doesn't need to work another day in his life, yet he's writing every word of every show that he's producing. He's there on set with us every day of every production that we do. And a lot of that, I truly believe, is for people like me, who he gave me my first opportunity to really be a professional actor and really make a living at it. There's so many crew members, there's a lot of ex-convicts that he employs. He gives a second chance to. There's just a lot of people that wouldn't be working, who might be in a really, really different situations. And I think that in turn, people work harder for him as a boss than I've ever seen people work for other bosses before.
Right. And I also feel as if he's able to pull out something out of the people that are acting for him. He's able to, even though you guys are already talented, but there's just, I don't know if there's just a way of his writing, or is it just because of who he is. But I'll just use this for an example. We saw Cal as a real hard A, and I'm trying to work on my cursing. But we've seen him as a really hard egg, a really tough guy. Really, I have no care for whatever. And there was a moment in the scene on the Oval, on the very last episode, where for just a second, Cal was like, but it's a kid. And I'm like, wait a minute, like, where did that part of Cal come from? Because, like I said, we've seen the tough guy. So we finally got to see a little bit of the sensitive, small portion, because he still had a job to do. But there was a small moment where Cal had a moment of sensitivity, and I was just like, wait a minute. Like, if this character got to transition and do the total opposite of what we're expecting. So I just absolutely commend you for that.
We'll find out. Yeah, I really liked that moment. I think in season 1, I was looking to really find layers of Kyle, like, to show that he's not just all bad, and it wasn't really written, it wasn't really there yet, and I think that's just going to have to take time, because I do think while he legitimately called me, or Tyler told me off, when we were just talking about character and stuff, that he thinks that Kyle's sociopath and psychotic, right? So the point is, like, he's a different character as far as those layers go than others, because there's true psychological things going on there. But my favorite characters and actors show the multiple sides of a human. I mean, I know that in my life, I can get real angry. I can have that dark side, and I have those demons. But I know that it hurts me even more because I know that I'm full of love. So, I think it's pretty cool that you give just a little bit. And the funny thing is, it was just one line, really, and people, at least on the Twitterverse, where you kind of see the feedback, that one line went a long way with people kind of like, whoa, wait, hold on a second there. Like, is there something more, with this guy than we realized? And so, I hope every season you're going to see a little bit more. I think everybody has bits of empathy. Now, if Kyle's a true sociopath, empathy is something that they're not, I believe that they're not really capable of. So I thought that was an interesting moment to kind of make people say, maybe there's more here than we thought. And and I think, to your note that Tyler brings that out of the actors, I think one of his strongest things as a director is his trust in us to, like, make our own choices. He'll pull you back or push you forward if he needs to, but he also gives you a lot of freedom to, like, go for it and and show me what you see, and then I'll go write more. As you show me the character, I'm going to write in that voice. Right,
absolutely. I totally commend you on every project that I've been able to view you in, and I'm still looking, because I think, wow, there are a few other movies that I could check out where he's not the mean guy. Like, he was a lover boy in one movie, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let's see what's going on here. So I am definitely going to be, I'm learning every day more and more about you. Don't consider it stalking. I just like to know people. I like to know the other side of people as opposed to just that character that they're playing. Yeah. Okay, so real quickly, I have 2 questions from the fans. I'm going to just go real quickly, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so at Lauren Ramsey 95 asks, when Cal kills people, is it because it needs to be done, or is it because he likes it?
I think that's a great question. I definitely think there's both that go involved with at least my understanding of Kyle. He's going to get the job done, and he's he's a deputy or whatever. He especially when it's, he knows how to play the game and do what he's got to do to slowly climb the ranks of power. We'll say that. But yeah, dude, Kyle's got damage. Kyle's got major daddy issues. Kyle he has issues from his days as a Marine. He's constantly trying to find any place that he can feel in control. So his killing sprees, part of that is him finally feeling in his life that he has some way, somehow he is in control of that situation, because I don't think he ever really had that. So yeah, there's a little bit of both. And hi, Lauren. She's so sweet, and she's always saying hello on my Instagram. So thank you for the question.
Absolutely. She's definitely a very supportive fan.
Yeah,
I can say that.
Absolutely.
And, okay. And so we have Say Yes 699 Cal. How do you like, okay, his name is not Cal, but how do you like playing a crazy man? His name is Brad.
Yes.
So
I appreciate it. Brad loves playing Crazy Man Kyle. Yeah, I do. I love it. I will say, even just a couple months ago, I told Tyler, I said, all right, someday, you gotta promise that you're gonna let me be the hero. I'm sort of saying that in jest, like, as a brand new actor, not everybody, but I definitely wanted the audience to love me, and I wanted to be the good guy, and as I've kind of matured as an actor, I realized that the fun is in just getting to go further with character. And so in Too Close to Home, I've told this story before, but Matt Battaglia, who played our president in Too Close to Home, he took me aside at one of the last days that we shot on that show, not knowing it would be the last days, and he said, man, if I were you and I got to play JB, I would lean in and I would be as dirty and as bad as possible, and I'd be doing drugs and beating people up, and just the point is, like, have fun with it. Like, get dirty, allow yourself to. You certainly can't do it in real life, and you don't want to do it in real life. And so yeah, I've kind of fallen in love with being the bad guy. It's fun to win over the fans. I feel like at first people on Twitter legitimately just hated me and Kyle, but Brad as well. And it seems like as the show's gone on, I've gotten a little bit more love to where they love to hate Kyle, or maybe even rooting for him. So yeah, just remembering it's a character and having fun with the guy who gets to just be a bad boy.
Right. Well, hopefully after this conversation, the world, whoever's watching and more, will be able to distinguish Brad from Kyle. Because I'm seeing a big
yeah, I think we're getting there, and it's fun. So if you need,
but if they don't hate you or dislike you for a moment, then you're not doing your job.
Oh yeah.
So
totally. Yeah. So I appreciate all you haters out there. Appreciate you. Make me feel good. Yeah. Keep on hating.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Say yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for the comment.
Right. Okay. Well, last and final question. I know that you said that, working with Mr. Tyler Perry has led to this job and this job and that job, but how has it changed your life, if any?
Yeah, it's changed my life a lot.
Are you recognized?
You know what? I'll start with this though. This is a little bit unexpected maybe, but it doesn't fix everything. Let me tell you that. Like, a lot of times I think it's easy to think, like people who look like they're living large or whatever, like I am living my dream and I'm super grateful for it and I love it and I want to do it every day and everything. But like all the other stuff is still there. So everybody take care of yourselves and be vulnerable. I'm working on that as a guy, especially guys, we're taught to be tough and bury our emotions and all that. So hey, I'm still a human and I'm working through my own psychological stuff and what have you. But yeah, it gives me an opportunity to just, it's actually kind of a good question I should reflect on, because I think it's important to remember how it may have changed things. I kind of miss certain aspects of before, when there was like this crazy hunger and I was out there and I was constantly making, I'm making web series with my buddies and I was in class. And so in in some ways, I wish that I continued to live as hungrily as I was in the past. Because sometimes when you find what you think is success, you start to just chill out a little bit, you know, and then it creates like, oh, I'm up here, and so then I just chill and I go down here, and then I got to pick myself up again, and I'm trying to even learn that lesson still myself, to where like when I'm riding high, just keep working hard, keep waking up, you know, and putting in the work and the effort. But there's a way, you kind of carry your shoulders back a little bit more, and just in the sense of like, I know how many years and how many tears and blisters and blood and everything that went into it. I left my home, my family. I still don't live with them. I was living on a few bucks, just barely scraping by for years and years and years. So, if nothing else, it just gives me this gratefulness that it was all worth it, and it reminds me that hard work does pay off. And I think that the rewards come in different ways, but for anybody listening, like, keep going, keep plugging away, be kind and a hard worker, and good things happen. So,
Hey guys, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, All Things Ruthless, where I, your girl Ticah-Dishawn, will usher you all of the latest Ruthless content.